I'm starting with the 2 just to take most of the bulk off. And so now I'm closing the 2, and then now I'm focusing on really making sure that hair gets to the length that I want it. When I had the 2 open, I more of was just like doing a lot of flicking out, so that way it's easy to blend. Now I'm just gonna go in with my 1. I'm going pretty firm with it, but I'm also going a lot slower in the back. I don't know if you've ever used the clipper and it kind of get caught in a thick spot. So I do slow down a little bit, and then I'm applying a good amount of pressure. And then sometimes I do like to lift up the scalp a little bit, pull it tight, so that way it's a little flatter. And I can get in there and get all those dark spots. Now I'm gonna open my 1 to about halfway. And then just blend that out. And then I'm just gonna open my 1 and just go right on top of that. And so when I'm blending, I'll start with my 1 all the way open. And then as I'm blending it, I'll just click back down to the 1s. Where everything blends. Yeah, so his hair is pretty short, so you don't have to do a whole lot, but just making sure the hair is like kind of combed down in place. Sometimes I'll use the comb to like give a guide, and then also kind of lift the ear so you can see how much space you have. And it's better to go lower and then have to go over it again than to end up like doing a white wall. Since we're doing square, I like to do one side and then turn the other side to the mirror. And we like to leave his C cup natural, so I just like over direct that hair just to make sure that there's anything hanging out. And connect sides. And then this hair looks a little darker than over here, so I'm just trying to. And I like to leave this area a little fuller instead of like having that clipper short and just do clipper over comb. Now for me, clipper over comb makes me nervous, so I do always have my clipper open, and then when I go in with the comb, I rock it out. That way it just gives me a little bit more room so I can make sure I know how the hair is going to respond before I just go all in. I think this is the better way to blend this type of haircut than shears over comb. I think it's a little bit more efficient. Shears over comb will get you there too, but it does take a little bit of more time. And then I do go over it with the shear over comb just to make sure everything flows. So I do like to texturize this while the hair is still dry.
And why that? So you can see it better?
So I can see like how the blend's really gonna look once the hair is like how he normally wears it. Because I feel like if I wet it, it kind of manipulates the hair a little bit. And then you also can take off length doing this as well. You just have to be careful with it.
What's up?
Entrepreneur looking wet texture.
Yeah, just because it's straight, it doesn't need to be like soaking wet because I'll kind of like weigh the hair down a little bit. I still kind of want to see how it like falls. And for his hair, I like to cut the top.
Why do you like to point the edge?
That way it just helps with having texture at the top. I'm gonna go through and use the texture shears on the end, but doing this means you have to use it like less on the top. That way he can still keep his fullness. So it's the same thing over here. We just want to soften that right there because there's a little bit of a point.
Huh? I did when I was growing up. That company too is probably my favorite.
Now I'm over directing the hair back here too. gonna point cut this as well. And so he does have this area that needs to be blended a little bit. And with this, I'm not like closing my shear all the way, I'm just kind of like gliding it. So originally the 2 was the longest, so I'm just gonna go in with the 3. And there is a little bit of flyaway back here in this cowlick, so I'm just gonna get those blending that. I'm just gonna get more separation in.
No, that's good.
And then that's that. I use the shaving gel. I mean the cream, but I prefer the gel. It's really cold. It's hard to keep it warm. I would recommend like a dry paste or like a texture spray.
Just because it's too heavy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So if someone doesn't really prefer product and I'm trying to get them used to product, I would use like just the texture spray and maybe hit it with the blow dryer on cool. It kind of just like activates the product. And this is kind of like, it'll give you like a natural shine, not matte. It won't give you a lot of hold, but it will give your hair like some shape. It'll give it a little guidance. And then if people do use product, I'll just use like a tiny bit of paste just in the front to get the fibers. This is the fiber paste, and I do like to put the fiber. Wide tube comb just for extra pressure. What do you think? Everything look okay? I'll say.